devices again. So we're going live on Instagram and we're going live on YouTube. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to carry on doing this because it really doesn't feel nice to me. But after I got like the most amazing feedback from the video, from the reel that I put on the other day about speaking so openly about my feelings and being raw and vulnerable in front of you all. And like so many messages, so many beautiful things that people said. And it really did seem to move a lot of energy for a lot of people. And I feel like I want to speak into the actual logical reason of why I do the things that I do, because to some, it probably seems extreme. Some, it probably seems chaotic. Some may look and think that I'm out of control, that I, like there's all these different projections that happen and over what I do and who I am and all that kind of stuff. And for me as a human being, I'm not going to say that it doesn't bother me because that would be a complete lie, but I want to set some things straight so that you can actually understand what I'm doing in my work and why I share that kind of information in the community. So firstly, I want to say again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who had anything to do with the reel that I put out, sharing my emotions. Like, thank you. I really do appreciate it massively. It's your support, it's your energy, it's you liking, following, all that kind of stuff that actually keeps me going and doing the things that I do, because the things that you in the ways that you respond, because it gives me more fuel, it gives me more fight, it gives me more reasons to actually keep on carrying doing the work that I do, even if the things that you say to me and the things that you feel are negative, because I don't see those things as a negative. And this is what I want to talk about. For me and my work, I have been working as a therapist for a really, really long time now, a really, really long time. And I say very, very openly that I have never been certified. I have never been to school or university or anything like that to do the work that I do. It's all intuitive. All of it is intuitive. And I am constantly learning from years and years of observing people. That is what I enjoy doing. That's who I am as a human being. I love people. I love connecting with people. I love traveling so I can meet new people. And if anyone has been in my life, you know this about me. Because even before I had, my spiritual awakening, before I stopped drinking, before I actually became a therapist, that's all I was doing. So even when I was pissed off my face and at some random club, I would be in the toilets coaching someone through their life. That I've always been that person. I had a bridal shop and every single bride that came in, they were getting the full service. They weren't coming for a dress. They were coming for help, support, someone to listen to. I think pretty much every single partner I've ever had has been exactly the same. And I understand the reasons why I've had to go through the things that I've had to go through. I understand my life so much more because of the role that I'm doing. And there's a completely logical, mapped out reason as the why I act and why I carry myself in the way that I do, because I understand energy. Energy does not lie. Energy cannot be mistaken. And if we could understand energy, all of us in community as individuals, we would be much happier, more content, more free, more abundant, more wealthy, more healthy, and all those kind of things. And that is why I share so much openly in the community in the way that I do, because it's healthy. So what I was displaying with my last reel, I wanted to be real. Because authenticity carries the highest frequency over love, over joy, over everything. Authenticity carries the highest frequency because it's the God frequency. You are sharing your expression of God through your divinity, through your authenticity. Okay, so that's one thing. So I was coming to show you where I was in my life, in my authenticity. And once I hit a point where my emotions were triggered, I let those emotions come out, because that is the healthy way to move energy. If I were to suppress that emotion, I would block my energy centers. I would block my heart. I would block my throat. I would probably give myself indigestion problems. And there's so many people that I work with that are doing this. Now, we can only meet each other in the depth of our own feeling. So I feel things incredibly deeply. I am extremely sensitive to energy, and I don't expect other people to meet me in that depth, because that is not fair. And I really have a lot of empathy and compassion for the people around me who don't understand how they feel, and what feelings are coming up from it, and what emotions they're trying to move, because we're all so suppressed and we are not able to process our emotions in a healthy way, because the way that we have been brought up, because the way that society and culture has molded us. For example, the things that I was bringing to the last reel were things that would make any normal person emotional. So finding out that I might have cancer, that would be, a lot of fear, which I brought to the reel. The fact that I've had my son taken out of my care, that would make any mum cry. And then I was talking about the state of our country and living in, what seems like a very unsafe place. That is also a very natural response to cry. And the responses that I were getting from people were, like, if there's anything that I can do, look after yourself, all this kind of stuff, like, very helpful, very open. But there's so much missing from the way that we understand our own emotions and seeing other people in emotion. And we either become the fixer, and that usually comes from feeling somebody else's pain. So we feel the pain for them and we have to fix it so that we don't feel that pain anymore. We become the fixer. Or we completely separate ourselves from that person and we try to tone down the emotion by squashing it, like, you're all right. Like, a lot of people will say that, you're all right, everything's okay, just smile, like, and that's suppressing it. Or we could go to the complete extreme and not actually show any emotion whatsoever to connect with the other person. And every individual, depending on how they've grown up and the culture that they live in, they respond to emotions in a completely different way. But what actually happens in all of those realms, whichever one you choose about not dealing with your emotion, actually makes the emotion 1,000 times worse, because the energy can't move. So if we try to fix the emotion and make it go away, we can't move the energy. It creates a box. It creates a box around that emotion, and it actually can trap the emotion in the other person by us becoming the fixer. If we try to take the pain away or, suppress the emotion, that also contains the energy in that other person. We block it, we shield it. So either spectrum of trying to make the emotion go away is actually creating more pain and more hostility in the other person, which normally turns out to be resentment, anger, and inflammation. So if you are dealing with pain in your body, it is most likely that you have trapped emotions storing in your body, which are causing large amounts of inflammation. So me showing my emotions and me letting them out in a healthy way is actually, it is not only good for the community to be able to see that, but it's also very healthy for me to be able to do that, because I'm in control of my emotions and I'm deciding what is right and what is wrong and how I would like to move that emotion within my body. So how can I say that? I would like to use that reel as a jumping off point for work that I would like to do with the community, because in that reel, what I was displaying was the feminine energy, almost bordering on chaotic, not really making sense, splurging lots of words into the container, which was the reel, crying, showing the emotion, you know, offering devotion and nurture towards my community, you know, like, why is this happening? Why is nobody coming together? You know, the curiosity of the child was coming out. All those big emotions were filling that space. And it's really, really important that we actually do that in every single facet of our lives, because the feminine energy always has to come first. And I speak about this on every single level. So whether this is sex, whether you're trying to make a baby, whether you're trying to launch a business, whatever you are trying to do, the feminine energy always has to come first. If you understand energy, you understand what I'm saying. And the feminine energy is about chaos. And even if you read the Bible or any teachings about how we came to be, how the earth came to be, it was chaos that came first. The darkness, the black, there was nothing. Yeah, that is feminine energy. And then we created order. So the creation is actually the masculine, the building of reality. And if you are how can I bring this down to a micro? That's obviously the macro. The micro, in understanding ourselves, in understanding each other, in understanding relationships, in understanding how we do better in life, we must understand that we need the feminine energy first. And that is what is missing from society and our culture. If we are not displaying our emotions and understanding how we feel and using our intuition, if that does not come first, then we cannot build a logical reality. Because if we suppress the feelings, we suppress how we feel, we're building off a place of fear, of not being accepted. We're building off a place of anger, resentment, and all the other negative, low vibrational energies that happen when we suppress the emotion. And a lot of us are seriously confused about how we actually feel towards different things. And this is learned from our culture, from our parents, from our lineage, and, you know, from school and all that kind of stuff. So if you are dealing with something and you find yourself stuck, not being able to move forward, if you find yourself in anxiety or depression, not doing very well at relationships, everything, and I mean everything, like I have put this strategy, this way of living to every part of my life, and it is working, it is happening, it's working, it's doing all the things, and everything is moving forward in a way that I feel comfortable and I don't feel fearful. And how I would like to acknowledge this is by telling you about a few things that have happened recently. So when I did the video, well, it hasn't happened recently, it's happened over a serious amount of time, but they're to do with the different things that I brought up in the video. So my health, I had a download 2 years ago that I would have to heal in front of the community. I would have to heal publicly. That's what I was told. That's what I got downloaded 2 years ago. And when I was given my diagnosis, I cried. The human part of me went, "Oh shit, what about my son? You know, what about everybody's then? What about all my friends? Blah, 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 blah." And then I was like, hold on a minute, you already got told, you knew this was going to happen. So, right, let's get to it. Right. With what was happening with my son, when I was sitting in court and I actually received their judgment that Louis was going to be taken out of my care, I was actually sitting there very calmly writing a poem called Life is a Plum. And I'll share that with you at some point. I'm going to put it in the book. And I was very calm and I was very okay with what was happening, because weeks and weeks before I had already received the download and God had shown me so clearly what was going to happen. It's all happened before, and the things that come into your mind, they are true. They're very true. The things that you think about, the visions that you have, and I have so literally I could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours on every single time that I've followed my intuition and it has worked out. I don't feel fear in the same way that I witness it in other people. I don't get scared. I don't get scared about other people. I don't get scared about being hurt. I'm not scared about death. Like, literally, there is no fear in my body in regards to things like that. And it's because I listen to my intuition and I listen to my feminine energy. There is so much strength in the feminine energy. And that is the thing that is missing from our society and from our culture, because they don't want us to be in our power. And it's really that simple. And I could talk about that and I can point it out everywhere. So the other situation that I was going to talk about was the relationship that I have with my son and his dad, because I knew that myself and his dad weren't meant to be together. And when he actually started seeing somebody else, I was completely calm about it. And everyone around me was trying to project onto me that I had a problem and that I was bitter and that I was upset and that I was causing all these problems because I was jealous of him finding somebody else and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, that's not true. You're projecting how you would feel onto me. I don't like him being with someone else. I already knew that that was happening. My intuition had already told me. And I had already checked out of the relationship because I knew that he was already seeing somebody else. And I can speak about that in such a content and calm way because I know that it was right. I know that the universe had already showed me that and the reasons why it was meant to happen. And ever since us actually separating, I've had nothing but everyone project their own feelings about how that they feel about that relationship and how they would feel about that happening to them. And the only thing that I have been interested in is co-parenting and providing a safe future for my son. And anyone who has been in my life for a good amount of time, they will know, understand, and feel, because I'm so consistent and disciplined in looking after that relationship and taking care of that relationship, that it doesn't really matter to me what the courts say, and it doesn't really matter what a psychologist says to me, because they're only having a snapshot of me as a human being. That's not who I am. And I feel like it's a really powerful position to be in, to know yourself truly and have deep understanding as who you are on a soul level, as an energetic level, and you can have integrity and you can have peace and contentment even when people are projecting their stories and their opinions and their narratives onto you, because you can be safe and secure in the knowledge that that is not who you are. If you're taking the necessary responsibility and acknowledge who you are as a human being and actually be consistent in your energy and your frequency and how you carry yourself and how you speak and who you are behind closed doors, then it doesn't matter what other people project onto you, because it's their narrative, it's their story. So I want to use the last reel of me being so raw and so open as a tool to be able to say why I don't fear what people think about me bringing that to social media. I would cry or share my emotions and share what I'm going through in my work, in my circles, in everything that I do, because I would say 100% of the people that I work with, they don't need a coach, they don't need a therapist, they don't need a guru, they don't need anything else apart from having their own feminine energy. They need to love themselves, they need to be able to listen to their own intuition, and they need to be telling themselves that they're a good person, and that's all that I've done to heal. And I feel like me coming into this space of being a coach, a therapist, a practitioner, whatever that means, like, I'm seeing again and again and again and again that all people need is to build rapport, trust, and integrity with themselves. That's it. And that is the reason why I'm so honest and I share that. And when I'm ready to not talk anymore, I'll say, I'm not ready. I have nothing to say. The we're taught so much that the feminine energy is weak. We're talked out of our intuition. We're talked out of our feelings. We're numbed. We escape. We're marketed to, and we become vast consumers of everything around us because we become the void. We become the chaos. It's feminine energy. And this is the thing, as a community, as a person, in a relationship, everything, that's the thing that needs to heal. I'm seeing it in so many men around me that literally cannot move forward in their lives and build the reality that they can see. They can't build from their vision because they're not accepting their feelings, they're not accepting their intuition, they're not accepting their feminine energy. And it's constantly about driving forward all the time, must be creating, must be moving forward, must be making money, must be performing. And it's not coming in. I'm seeing burnout. I'm seeing guys who have got serious mental and emotional blocks because they do not accept their feminine energy. And it's not about like like being soft. Like, men don't need to be soft. Like, there's such a bent narrative in the spiritual community. Men don't need to be more like feminine. They just need to accept their feminine qualities. That's a completely different narrative. And I feel like everyone's got in such a mess in the spiritual community in regards to the way that they talk about things, what's being taught. Like, there just seems to be this mass wave of complete confusion. And that is also dark feminine energy. If someone is providing information for you that is confusing, it's not for you. Don't listen to it. It's that simple. And I mean, even if you're listening to me, and that goes for me as well, if I am confusing you, then don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Ask questions. You can be a fool for a minute and have the right answer. Sometimes it takes your belief system to snap for you to be able to accept new information. Sometimes it takes it for it to come from a certain person that you trust. Sometimes it needs to come like as in a painful situation that you need to learn from. We all learn in completely different ways and we all resonate with energy in completely different ways. There is no right or wrong way of becoming a better human being. But the one thing that I will say is if you do not feel it and you do not understand your emotions, then you will not be able to move forward, whether you're a man or a woman or a child or whatever, because we get stuck. The emotions are the things that move us. Emotion. It's something that moves, and if we keep suppressing it, if we keep stopping it, if we keep hiding it, if we keep putting it on the back burner, if we keep squashing it with, positive rays of light and, being happy all the time, It doesn't work, and it will completely stop us as a human race from reaching anywhere near a higher consciousness. The Ascension Project is not about becoming better than anybody else. It's not about hierarchy. It's about expansion. It's about compassion. It's about seeing people clearly. It's about becoming the eagle and reaching a higher plane so that you can observe. And I say the eagle because the eagle lands. It does not keep itself up like an albatross. It comes back down to land. You can go up and you can put yourself above the community and all that kind of stuff. See what you need to see, and then you come back down to earth and you process that information and you deliver it. Like, this whole narrative about looking up to people, and like, no one knows you better than you know yourself. And every single person that I see, whether I do a reading, whether I'm doing coaching, whatever I'm doing, I am forwarding you back to yourself. All I'm doing is reflecting and creating a loop so that you can see yourself clearly in the same way that I see you. All my work, everything I do, the intention of my purpose here on this earth is to create the right energy for you to heal yourself. And that means me showing up in my complete authenticity. And that is the reason why I show up. That's the reason why I cry. That's the reason why I show up in my feminine energy, and it looks chaotic and it looks like a mess. And I'm happy with that because it's part of the process and it's part of the thing that you need to do for yourself. I really hope this video was helpful. And if you resonate with this or anything that I've said in any way, drop me a DM. If you would like some support, as I said, most of my work is literally just about you finding yourself. Yeah, that's all what I wanted to say, I think. Drop me a DM, get in contact. You can go through can you go through the website? You might be able to go through the website. It's still being built. You can get in touch on here, and the YouTubers, you can comment, like, share, all that kind of thing. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and I am going to be doing lots of speaking engagements in regards to energy, in regards to community health, in regards to coming together. There's lots of things in the pipeline, and I am so open to speak about really broad subjects. I want to bring suicide prevention up to the fore. I want to talk about separating children from families. I want to talk about food. I want to talk about I can't even speak. Communal health. I want to talk about it all. So if there's anyone out there that wants to do podcasts or whatever, I'm really open to talking about it. I want to talk about the energetics and simplify things for people so that we can actually heal on a greater level and not be so bloody confused. So yeah, take care. Thank you very much, YouTubers. I hope that was helpful. I don't even really feel like I looked at you the whole time, but hopefully listening to that might give you something to think about. And you can always respond through email. I think my email's on the description box if you need any support, or you can comment. I look forward to hearing from you.